The scariest thing about this movie was that I didn't know if it was ever going to end. Oh my God, this movie was boring. I am so, I need to decompress. Deep breath, OGP, deep breath, chill out. This movie pissed me off. I didn't know if it was going to end. I felt trapped. I felt like I was in a horror movie. It was horrible. It was boring. So boring. So boring. Hit that thumbs up button if you would, everybody. Let's talk about, spoiler-free, talk about Haunting in Venice, a.k.a. boring you out of your mind from a palazzo in Venice. A Haunting in Venice takes place post-World War II in Venice, obviously. And the movie stars Michelle Yeoh, Tina Fey, and Kelly Reilly from Yellowstone. And it's directed by Kenneth Branagh, who has most recently done Death on the Nile. Had a budget of $5.5 million and a runtime of 1 hour and 43 intolerable minutes. And the proof that the experts are full of shit. Full of shit. IMDb has this at a 6.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has it a 79. A 79 of the experts. And it's 202 reviews. But when you look at the experts, they don't give you as many, like, you know, on the fan scores, that's going to be thousands. Experts are usually a lot less, but a 79, and it's a story about a retired professional sleuth who is coerced into going to a seance to try and figure out who or what may have killed a child. And it's really a game of whodunit more than a horror movie. There are horror elements in the fact that somebody was murdered, and there's a little bit of suspense. But 99% of this movie is watching people talk about events that happened that we as an audience did not get to see. We're watching people talk. Whoever took and transferred this from a novel to a movie decided they were basically going to take the book and put it into a screenplay. There was no creativity as far as giving us, letting the audience view the things that happened. We didn't even get a cold intro, pre-credits, visual of the killing. We should have gotten a pre-credit kill. The death of the person that we're investigating should have happened pre-credits. But no, we just get some shots around Venice. And then a guy waking up going, and we don't know why. But we get these shots of Venice, which is a gorgeous city. We know this. And it really felt like the way it was shot, and this goes on throughout the movie, it was shot like it was supposed to be some modern musical or something, but it wasn't a musical. And then on top of all that, this movie didn't know if it wanted to be a comedy, because there was little jokes and stuff in it that failed. It didn't know if it wanted to be a jump scare horror movie, but you saw every single jump scare coming, and none of them, not one of them, elicited any type of jump, because they were just so blatantly obvious that you knew they were coming. And it just didn't know what it wanted to be. It really just didn't. And the investigation that this guy he's going through trying to figure out what's going on, we meet all these unnecessary characters and have all these unnecessary shots and scenes. It starts off after we get through this montage of looking at Venice. It starts off in this big house, this palazzo. And it's a Halloween party. We see all these kids. We really didn't need that at all. We didn't. That was just... I really feel like somebody had a great location. They're like, man, we got to make a movie here. Okay, well, what are we going to make it about? Oh, I don't know. It's got to be something about this house. And, well, let's make it Halloween. So let's bring a bunch of kids for a Halloween party. The kids at the Halloween party added nothing to this story. And as the story was progressing, we start off with the montage, seeing seeing Venice. Then we see the kids at Halloween party. Then they leave. Then we do this seance. Seance takes place in the 3rd floor of this home, where a little younger girl who had died or committed suicide or was murdered a year ago, her bedroom. That's where they decided to do this. You have Michelle Yeoh playing a psychic, and then you have Tina Fey playing an author who wants to write a book about this investigation, and then you have the sleuth, the professional retired sleuth, who's going to figure out what's going on. And as he's doing his investigation, you don't see any of the things that he sees until he mentions them. They're sitting around, and he says, there's one part where he figures out something is a fake. He's like, I knew that was a fake because there was a footprint in the fireplace. You never saw the fireplace. And then after he says that, boom, then we get a close-up of a footprint in a fireplace. How about letting the audience do a little investigating of our own rather than just telling us what's happening? But no, the entire movie is just headshots. Kind of like this. Like this range right here. People talking. Going, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. The scariest thing about this movie was that I thought it was never going to end. That was it. They would not shut up. They kept talking. It didn't end. After they figured out or got to a point where, not to spoil, after they got to a point where there was like, okay, we know the movie is basically over, they still didn't shut up for like another 10 minutes. It was, well, we got to talk to this character and talk to this character. Let them, exit the film. I just wanted them to shut up. I wanted them to end the movie. Frankly, the only reason I made it through the entire movie was because I took my daughter with me, and I wasn't going to yank her out of a movie. I was so pissed off, and I was so bored. There's other movies, Evil Dead Rise, that really pissed me off. But there were things going on, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this to the end. This movie had nothing, like nothing happened in this movie. Nothing. Just people talking. That's it. One of the main actors in the movie dies halfway through. You don't get to see it when it happens. You just get to see that person being dead. There's another kill. You get to see that person being dead. Don't get to see it happen. There's a dad, and his son's there. After the Halloween party, there's like one kid left and his dad. The dad's having a mental breakdown. The kid's like patting his dad on his shoulder. Dad, I'm here. I'm here, Dad. Do you see me? I'm here, Dad. It's okay, Dad. We all understand. Hopefully we understand. If we're big enough fans, we understand. The writing in a novel is going to be a lot different than the writing on a screenplay versus the writing on a stage performance. They're all going to be different. Like stylistically, they're going to be different. This was like the kid was talking. He ended every sentence when he was talking to his dad with the word dad. Hey, Dad, it's going to be okay, right, Dad? Dad, this, Dad, that, and Dad, this. And who the hell talks like that? And this kid, the way he acted, it was like role reversal. Like the kid was being the father, but this was a little kid. Ooh, when little kids in movies act like adults, it drives me nuts. And this was a prime case of that. This kid was horrible. He wasn't even a great actor. There were a few, like some of the real in-your-face blatant flaws. It was overcolored. The whole movie was overcolored. I don't understand why it had to be bright and pop like it did. You had a wonderful location. Let's make it gloomy and dark and eerie. No. We're going to make it pop, overcolor it. And some of the acting wasn't great. Maybe the book was great. I've never read a book. And if you're one of those people that go like, oh, you know, like that, more power to you. But if you're like, oh, the book, man, oh, the book, this and that, I don't care. If you're going to tell me about the Star Wars book, you're going to tell me about the Silence of the Lambs book, you're going to tell me whatever book you want to tell me about, the Shining book, that's great. More power to you. There's some like I enjoy, you know, there's some like Stand By Me, The Shining, some of those type of books that, yeah, I'm like, you know what, I love the movie so much, or maybe I'll read the book or whatever. Maybe I read the book and then watch a movie, whatever, that's fine. But don't be one of those people that's like, oh, well, you know, the book this or that or whatever, they're just following the book. Yeah, piss off with that. I don't care. I'm here to watch a movie. I'm not here to read a book. If I wanted to read a book, I'd buy a book. I'd sit at home. I wouldn't go to the theater. I wouldn't pay $8 for a popcorn and $6.50 for like a little Coke. I wouldn't do that. I'd be at home. I'd read a book. All they did was hand these people a book and go, okay, read the lines that are, you know, for your character. And we're going to stick a camera in your face. It was beyond frustrating. Beyond frustrating. But we have bad coloring, bad acting, bad use of the location that you had. They had this marvelous location, but they just did not take advantage of it. It was very frustrating. And again, they just didn't know what they wanted to be. Am I supposed to laugh? There's like a scene where there's a very dramatic. You're supposed to be really like, oh my goodness, this guy is really going through a tough time, you know, or like the mom who lost her daughter, like really going through a tough time. And then we're doing goofy jokes with Tina Fey. It was like they're like, oh my God, we have Tina Fey. She was in SNL, so we have to make some funny stuff, right? Which they tried, and they failed. So then you have failing jokes after or before these real dramatic, supposedly dramatic scenes that just failed. And the whole time I'm like, I don't give a shit what you're talking about, what you're saying. I just don't care. Because you're sitting here in the present telling me about things that happened in the past that I don't know. I can't put them into context because I just don't know what happened. Oh, but if you read the book, no, piss off. I'm not reading the book. I'm going in to watch a movie. So as I sit there and I watch this movie, I can't put these things that they're talking about into context. So it's very frustrating. I don't want to ever go to a movie and sit and watch people talk. It's even bad enough when you have like Disney movies. They love to narrate the beginning of their movies to tell you everything that's going on, introduce you to all the characters, and give you the little backstory. Don't do that. Be a good writer. Write a backstory. Show me the backstory. Explain why I'm here. A girl died a year before. Show me the girl dying the year before. Well, you can't show everything about it because we're trying to hide who the killer is? Fine. Creative angles, hoods, masks, whatever, to hide identities, fine. Do that. Whatever you got to do. Be creative. But let me see the girl die the year before. And then maybe give me a little kind of more to a character, like the sleuth who comes in. He's walking down the street and everybody wants his help. But we don't know. Why are these people coming after him? We don't really know. We weren't given that much information. We should have had more details about these characters. There wasn't much in the way of character development at all. We were just supposed to know. Because whoever made this movie was obviously a huge fan of the book. And they knew this stuff, so they didn't think to convey it to the audience. Frustrating. It was frustrating. The movie sucked. It flat out sucked. I did not like this movie at all. It had again, this is one of these movies that if you take the budget and the location, you're like, this could be promising. And then you take the trailer. And here's some other things. You're watching the trailer. If you go watch the trailer for A Haunting in Venice, you see things in the trailer and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's meaningless to the movie. Like you see this little thing spinning around with this thing dancing or whatever. You know, it's like a little, old toy from the 1940s or whatever. Spins around and the light shines through and it makes it look like a ghost is dancing. Does not make a difference to the movie. It's not important to the story. It's just there. They're like, this is cool. Let's put this in. Poof, added nothing to the movie at all. The fact that they would take things that add nothing to the movie, aside from kind of looking kind of cool, and put them in the trailer, they have lied to us. In the trailer, yeah, you hear a guy talking, and you're figuring that's kind of sound bites to kind of explain what's going on. But nope, that's the whole movie. And they take every bit of action in the entire movie and put it into the 2 minutes of the trailer. And the other hour and 40 minutes is just people sitting here talking, telling you a story. It is very frustrating. And I just, I don't want to ramble all night and be like that movie. So I'll give you a score here. I would say on a 1 to 10, this gets about, just for the location alone, I love the location. The Palazzo was great. I'll give it a 3. A 3 out of 10. This movie pissed me off. It was bad. I wished it would have ended sooner. I wish they would have done better and not shown me shit that I didn't need. I wish they would have written and developed these characters a little bit better. They didn't. It sucked. It was boring. I was bored out of my mind. I hate this movie. I will never, ever watch this movie again. And, ooh, yeah, this director is on my shit list. With that being said, thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you would hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already done so. And I will see you on the next epic OGP. Was this an epic rant? Was this an epic rant? I don't know if it's quite epic or not, but let me know down below. Have you seen the movie? Your thoughts on the movie. Your thoughts on me venting about this movie. Have a good one, everybody. Take care. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.